Have you ever found yourself, really stuck?
Yeah.
Maybe with some kind of nagging physical thing or just feeling overwhelmed, anxious, that feeling that you're not quite hitting your potential?
Oh, absolutely. It's such a common feeling, isn't it? That search for something simple that actually works.
Exactly. You just want a straightforward way to feel, well, better. And maybe even, like the book suggests, better and better every single day. So what if I told you that the key, that actual power, was already inside you, just kind of waiting?
Okay, I'm listening.
And what if this power came from a method nearly 100 years old that worked wonders back then, but somehow most of us haven't even heard of it?
Right. That's the really intriguing part. Something so effective just fading from view.
Well, today on the Deep Seek Diaries, that's exactly what we're diving into. There's this incredible book, really insightful, called Simple Self-Healing, The Magic of Autosuggestion.
Ah, yes. Coué's work.
Precisely. It's not just, another self-help book cluttering the shelves. It feels different. It's a modern look at this really potent method pioneered by Émile Coué.
A French psychologist, right. A name that, like you said, isn't exactly household.
Not at all, but maybe it should be. His original ideas have been carefully brought back by Tim Grimes, who edited this version, and there's also input from Cyrus Harry Brooks.
So it's a collaborative effort to present Coué's core ideas.
Yeah, exactly. And this deep dive, it isn't about getting tangled up in complex theories or long, drawn-out therapies. It's really focused on this simple but profound method.
The one that apparently helped thousands back in the day.
Thousands upon thousands, according to the background. Yet it's still kind of under the radar. And for you listening, if you're part of the Deep Seek Diaries community, this book offers this amazing glimpse into the mind's power for healing, for real positive change.
It sounds like a potential shortcut, in a way. Cutting through the noise.
That's a great way to put it. A shortcut to feeling better without all the overwhelm. Honestly, if you're looking for practical, actionable ways for real self-improvement, real transformation, this seems essential.
Okay, let's truly unpack this intriguing concept then. Our mission today really is to explore Émile Coué's often overlooked formula, autosuggestion.
Right. What is it really?
We're going to break down the core principles, definitely look into its historical impact, which sounds pretty remarkable, and then, critically examine how its surprising simplicity actually holds real power for your life right now.
The simplicity is the hook, isn't it?
It really is. What's truly fascinating here, if you stop and think about it, is how something that sounds so straightforward, it relies completely on you, your own mind could have such, deep implications for our daily lives, our health, our overall well-being, mental and physical.
That seems almost too simple, maybe.
Perhaps. And that's what we need to explore. We'll be connecting the dots, from its origins back in early 20th century France to how you could potentially use it today, practically.
So it's about empowerment from within, giving you a tool.
Exactly. Giving you a tool to actively shape things. And building on your point, what do you think it is about that very simplicity that allows for such potentially profound change? Especially now when we often think complex problems need complex solutions.
That's a really good question. I've been thinking about that too.
Yeah.
I think maybe the power of its simplicity is just how accessible it makes it.
Okay. Low barrier to entry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The world makes self-improvement seem so complicated sometimes, right? Like you need these intricate routines or tons of time. Coué's method, it just offers this direct, low-friction way in.
So less chance for our brains to go, nope, too hard.
Precisely. It kind of bypasses that resistance we put up. When something feels simple, we're more likely to actually do it. It takes away that feeling of massive effort, makes the inner work feel achievable.
And consistency is probably key here.
Oh, absolutely. We'll definitely get into that. And it also sort of forces you to consider that maybe the real power isn't out there in some external thing, but it's right here inside us. And maybe accessing it is, almost deceptively easy.
Interesting. Deceptively easy. I like that.
Before we go any further, though, just a quick reminder, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video if you're watching. This is the Deep Seek Diaries, and you can find us on the major social platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Yep, all the usual spots.
And linked down in the description section, you'll find all the resources we're talking about today, the book itself, websites, everything. Please do take a moment to check out our terms and conditions when you get a chance. Okay, now sit back and enjoy the deep dive.
Right. So let's properly introduce the man himself, Émile Coué. Who was he? Well, he was a French pharmacist, actually, and later a psychologist, practicing almost a century ago, early 1900s.
And the book calls him one of the more underappreciated geniuses of 20th century medicine. That's quite a statement.
It really is a bold claim, isn't it? Especially when you think about who else was around then? Freud, Jung, massive figures, plus all the medical breakthroughs.
Right. So what makes Coué stand out?
Well, his impact seems undeniable, but in a very practical way. He wasn't just writing theories. He was a clinician. He set up free clinics, apparently, and taught his method to just a staggering number of people.
Free clinics? Wow.
Yeah, and the book explicitly states his method, which he called autosuggestion. It helped cure thousands of people annually.
Thousands?
Yeah.
Annually? That's hard to wrap your head around.
Just pause on that for a second. Thousands of people, year after year, finding real relief, getting tangibly better through a method that was essentially self-administered.
So not relying on surgery or drugs or even long therapy sessions.
Exactly. It was all about empowering the person to tap into their own healing ability. That alone makes him a pioneer in mind-body healing way before it was, a mainstream term.
Which makes it even stranger that, as the book says, few people have ever even heard of him today.
It's a total paradox, isn't it? And it's why this deep dive feels important. It suggests there's this powerful, maybe forgotten formula for well-being just waiting.
Something tested, applied, that got results.
Quantifiable results in people's lives. He was a pragmatic innovator. And it really is worth asking why his work faded. Maybe, like you hinted, it got overshadowed by psychoanalysis. Or maybe the rise of pharmaceuticals just pushed medicine towards external fixes.
That makes a lot of sense. The focus shifted away from the internal power he was highlighting.
Seems likely. His self-empowering internal approach didn't really fit that emerging model.
Okay, so if Coué's method helped so many, and it's supposedly so powerful, the big question for everyone listening is, what is autosuggestion? Like fundamentally.
Right. Let's get to the core.
The book calls it a popular self-healing method. And the mechanism sounds simple, but really effective. It's all about the mind's power, which we often underestimate, right? Its ability to influence the body.
And our experiences, too.
Yeah, and experiences. Through repeating specific suggestions consciously.
Okay, so how does that work? Is it like affirmations?
Sort of, but maybe deeper. Think of your subconscious mind like the operating system for your whole being. It runs everything automatically, breathing, heart rate, but also habits, beliefs, reactions, mostly without us noticing.
Right, the stuff happening below the surface.
Exactly. Autosuggestion, in Coué's way, is like a deliberate way to program or maybe reprogram that operating system. You're consciously feeding it helpful instructions.
So by repeating a suggestion,
especially when you're relaxed, like just before sleep or waking up, you're not just saying words. You're implanting ideas deep down, the part of you that kind of holds the blueprint for your reality.
Bypassing the conscious critic, maybe.
That seems to be the idea. Over time, these suggestions sink in, become subconscious beliefs, and then they influence your body, your emotions, your actions.
So the promise is pretty direct then?
Very direct. The book puts it perfectly. If you grasp the simplicity of autosuggestion, you'll be able to use this wonderful tool as you wish, and it should help make your life better and better.
Better and better. That phrase keeps coming up.
It's central. And it's not passive wishing. It's active. Intentionally directing your inner resources to make real changes. Health, outlook, resilience, circumstances. The power's in your hands.
You become the agent of your own change, leveraging your own thoughts.
Exactly. Orchestrating shifts, internal and external.
And the engine driving this whole process, the actual core of Coué's method, is basically one single, really powerful affirmation.
Not some complex mantra then.
No, not at all. It's surprisingly concise, but it covers everything. The phrase is, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Simple, direct, all-encompassing.
Precisely. That's the central cure-all in his system. And it works, interestingly, almost like a placebo effect that you consciously activate yourself.
Harnessing the placebo effect intentionally.
Exactly. You know how the placebo effect shows improvement just based on belief in the treatment? Coué realized we don't need the sugar pill. We can generate that belief, that healing response internally just by directing our minds.
That's quite a leap in thinking for his time.
It really was brilliant, and the elegance of it, like one reviewer said, and it's worth repeating, autosuggestion is easy to practice and a whole lot safer than using medication that could have serious side effects.
That captures it perfectly, doesn't it? Accessible, low risk, empowering.
Totally. And if we connect this to how our minds work, that affirmation isn't just about feeling good for a second. It's like systematically reprogramming your subconscious.
Planting a positive instruction.
A progressive one for holistic improvement, physical, mental, emotional, everything. The beauty is the phrase, every way. It lets your subconscious work on things you might not even be aware need fixing.
So the repetition isn't just mindless.
No, it's about building this consistent, positive internal story, which over time literally reshapes your internal landscape. And that then affects your external reality. You're setting your inner compass towards better.
Trusting your own system to figure out the details.
Exactly. The power isn't just in the words, it's in the belief and the consistency that lets those words sink in and do their work. Real, tangible change orchestrated from the inside.
Okay, now this is where it gets interesting for people like us who, appreciate not just the ideas, but how a book is actually put together.
Right, the structure and presentation.
Simple self-healing is really concise, which is refreshing, honestly. It's only 133 pages in paperback, published fairly recently, too, April 2017.
133 pages, that definitely signals to the point.
Absolutely. It tells you straight away this isn't some dense academic slog. It's not full of jargon or endless footnotes. It's clearly designed to be super accessible, quick to digest, and you can act on it fast.
Less like a textbook, more like a practical guide.
Exactly. Given the short length and the focus on simplicity right in the title, you get the sense it cuts straight to the chase. No long rambling intro, no excessive personal stories, just the core message.
So the style is likely very direct, clear.
That's the implication.
Yeah.
Getting the reader to understand autosuggestion and start doing it without getting lost in unnecessary details. It feels built for efficiency and immediate impact. That's a huge plus for listeners who want actionable takeaways.
And what's really fascinating is how well the book seems to deliver on that promise of simplicity. This is where its strengths really come through, according to reviewers.
Okay, so what are people saying?
Well, they consistently praise its directness. People mention it gets to the point right from the start, no fluff, which is such a relief, isn't it, in the self-help world?
Definitely. So much wading through filler sometimes.
Exactly. And one customer made a great point, saying it's not like those LOA self-help books that require so much time from you to heal.
LOA, law of attraction, which can get quite involved.
Right. This book, by contrast, seems focused on one powerful, simple action. That direct, no-nonsense style is a huge benefit for anyone wanting quick, usable strategies.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What else stands out as a strength?
Practicality. It doesn't just talk about the mind's power. It explains and demonstrates that autosuggestion is a proven subject, grounding it in Coué's actual clinical success.
So it connects theory to practice.
Yes, and crucially, it moves from explaining to doing. It actually gives autosuggestions to do. It's not abstract. It's a how-to guide with ready-to-use tools.
That sounds incredibly useful.
And then there's the inspirational aspect. That comes up again and again. People call it inspiring and helpful, saying it genuinely makes them feel much more optimistic about everything.
So it provides an immediate mood boost, too.
It seems so. That quick, tangible lift in outlook is a powerful thing, suggesting the impact starts right away.
Are there specific examples of effectiveness? People mention concrete results.
Oh, absolutely. And some are quite startling. They really bring the method to life. One reviewer shared, and this is amazing, amazingly, I have finally got rid of my long-standing sciatica in a very short time.
Sciatica. That can be incredibly painful and persistent. Getting rid of it quickly is huge.
It really is. And another one, someone visual impaired, reported they started reading normal-sized print with no glasses and felt their sight start to sharpen up. They were even hoping to get their driver's license back.
Wow. That's not just feeling better. That's a significant physical change.
Exactly. These aren't minor tweaks. They're potentially life-altering shifts people are attributing to this method. The general feeling across reviews is just that things started feeling better, physically, mentally, emotionally.
That covers a lot of ground.
It does. And one more crucial point that adds credibility. Coué's method advocates working with modern medicine, not replacing it.
That's important. So it's not anti-doctor.
Not at all. It's about using your mind's power to complement and maybe even boost conventional treatments. It makes it responsible, practical, and safe. It's an ally in your health journey.
That's a really key distinction. Ensures a sensible approach. Now, while most reviews clearly love the simplicity, we should probably touch on any criticisms, right, to be balanced.
Good point. There was that one notable comment, kind of an outlier.
The one saying it was quite basic, echoing stuff seen elsewhere.
That's the one. And it's important to put that into context. While one person might want a deep academic dive with lots of data, the overwhelming feedback suggests the book's directness is exactly what most readers want and value.
So it's not trying to be a scientific paper.
No, it's a practical guide. Could it have included more case studies, more history, more neuroscience? Maybe. But adding all that might have actually weakened its core promise of simplicity.
So the conciseness is a feature, not a bug, for its intended audience.
Precisely. It seems like a deliberate choice to trade academic depth for practical accessibility and immediate action. And that trade-off clearly works for the vast majority of readers.
Okay, that makes sense. It knows its audience.
Which brings us to that question.
Right.
Who is this book really for? Who gets the most out of simple self-healing?
Right. Based on the book and the reviews, who's the ideal reader?
Well, several groups stand out. Firstly, as one reviewer directly advised, it's for anyone who has ongoing health issues. If you're dealing with chronic pain, persistent physical problems, this offers a tool to actively participate in your own recovery alongside your doctor's advice.
Okay, people with health challenges. Who else?
Seekers of self-healing and empowerment. You know, people who already believe or are open to the idea that your mind is your best healer and that we create our own experiences through the power of thinking. It aligns perfectly with that mindset.
People open to the mind-body connection.
Exactly. Thirdly, anyone feeling overwhelmed by complex self-help. That 133-page count is a major draw if you're tired of dense books. So simple, so powerful that quote really speaks to this group. It's efficient and direct.
For people short on time or patience for complexity.
Definitely. And lastly, it's for those open to the power of belief or faith in their healing. The book emphasizes one must do it with faith.
Not religious faith, necessarily.
No, more like cultivating an inner conviction, a trust in your mind's ability to create change, suspending disbelief and engaging that inner certainty. It's for the pragmatist who's also open to the possibility of something more.
Okay, that clarifies the target audience well. And on the flip side, who might not find this book suitable?
Good question. Well, if you absolutely need highly detailed scientific explanations for everything peer-reviewed studies, neurological breakdowns, this book might feel too simplistic. It focuses on the how, not the deep scientific why.
So data-driven skeptics might struggle.
Potentially. Also, if you're fundamentally resistant to the whole idea of mind-body connection or think the power of suggestion is nonsense, the core premise will likely be a barrier. It doesn't try to convert the hardcore skeptic. It guides the willing.
Makes sense. Anyone else?
And maybe if you're looking for a massive, all-encompassing guide covering every single area of self-improvement, like a huge tome, this book is laser-focused on one specific, powerful technique. Its brevity is its strength for the right person, but maybe a limitation for someone wanting an encyclopedia.
So it excels for those wanting a direct, actionable approach to this specific concept.
Exactly.
So given how simple it sounds, how do you actually do it? What's the practical application?
Right, the how-to. And it really is almost disarmingly simple, but the key is consistency. It all centers on repeating that core affirmation. Every day, every way, I'm getting better and better.
Just repeating it? When? How often?
Coué recommended repeating it about 20 times, twice a day. The best times are usually when you're most relaxed and receptive, so just before falling asleep and right when you wake up. But when the conscious mind is less noisy.
Yeah.
Exactly. When those analytical filters and doubts are lower, the suggestion can sink into the subconscious more easily.
And consistency is crucial, you said.
Absolutely paramount. It's not about forcing it or trying really hard to believe it in that moment. It's more like a gentle, persistent planting of the idea, like watering a seed every day.
Gentle persistence. I like that.
And you do need to approach it with that sense of belief, that faith we mentioned, trusting your own mind's ability to heal and adapt. You're directing your inner resources and trusting your subconscious to handle the details.
Okay. And it's not just for physical things, right? Even though those examples like sciatica were powerful.
No, not at all. Its real strength might be its broad applicability. It's incredibly effective for boosting overall optimism, building resilience, improving emotional well-being, just generally shifting your outlook. People consistently reported feeling much more optimistic about everything.
So it lifts your whole baseline perspective.
It seems to. As one customer put it, it's like a superpower for us all, universally accessible. But like any skill or power, you have to do the work. Simple work, yes, but consistent, dedicated work. Consciously directing your thoughts routinely, not just randomly.
Shaping your inner world to influence the outer one.
That's the essence of it.
I hope you're enjoying the topic so far, and maybe already feeling a bit of that empowerment we've been talking about.
It's definitely thought-provoking stuff.
If you're finding these insights compelling, and you want to keep exploring tools like this, please do subscribe to the Deep Seek Diaries and give this video a like. It really helps us out.
Lets us know what resonates.
And remember, you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the main places. Plus, check the description box below. We've linked everything, the book, websites, all the resources related to today's deep dive.
Makes it easy to follow up.
Now, diving back in, when we look at simple self-healing, it's really important to understand the different people involved in bringing this to us today.
Right. Coué, Grimes, Brooks.
Let's start with Émile Coué again. He's the originator, the visionary. And his work wasn't just theoretical ideas. It was grounded in practice, working directly with thousands of people in his clinics.
That real-world validation is key. He saw it work firsthand.
Exactly. He observed, recorded results, and his whole approach was apparently quite humble, very accessible. One reviewer captured it nicely. A simple method that was advocated by a humble man available to us all.
That says a lot. He wanted to empower ordinary people, not keep healing as some mysterious secret.
Precisely. Demystifying it, making people active participants in their own well-being. His legacy is really about unlocking that innate power within each person.
Proving that agency lies within.
And then you have Tim Grimes, the editor. His role seems absolutely crucial in bringing Coué's work, which was fading, to a modern audience.
So he's more than just an editor, like a curator.
Yeah, I think so. He's adapted the insights so they resonate today. And his own background fits perfectly. Look at his other books, Manifesting Miracles, The Joy of Not Thinking, Relax More, Try Less.
Okay, so there's a clear theme there. Simplifying manifestation, reducing stress, inner peace.
Exactly. It aligns perfectly with Coué's ideas about directing the mind for well-being. His website, radicalcounselor.com, continues that theme.
And isn't he also involved with Neville Goddard's work?
He is. He's edited Goddard's works, too. He's another major figure in, mind power and manifestation circles. So Grimes is deeply knowledgeable in this whole area.
So this isn't just a reprint. It's a thoughtful adaptation by someone steeped in these concepts.
Absolutely. Grimes is bridging that gap between Coué's time and ours, making this timeless wisdom actionable for us now. He makes it easier for us to benefit.
And the third name, Cyrus Harry Brooks.
Right, listed as a contributor. The book doesn't detail his exact role, but his involvement suggests a real effort to ensure the original philosophy is accurately represented.
Adding maybe some historical context or ensuring fidelity.
That seems likely. Making sure it's a scholarly yet accessible presentation. His contribution adds another layer of credibility, ensuring Coué's work is presented faithfully, but also effectively for today's readers.
So a well-rounded team bringing this classic back to life.
Definitely feels that way. Now, putting it all together, what does the Amazon audience, the everyday readers, actually think? How does this deep dive stack up against wider opinion?
The numbers are pretty telling, aren't they?
They really are. Overall rating, 4.5 out of 5 stars. That's high. And it's from 518 global ratings, so a decent sample size.
4.5 is strong. What's the breakdown?
Even more impressive. 71% gave it 5 stars, 71%. Another 18% gave it 4 stars.
Wow, so that's nearly 90% positive ratings.
Exactly. Almost 9 out of 10 people rated it positively. And get this, only 1%, just 1%, gave it 1 star.
That's incredibly low negativity. It clearly shows massive satisfaction. The book is definitely hitting the mark for most readers.
Undeniably. It's resonating consistently and powerfully.
Yeah.
Delivering on that promise of simple, effective self-healing.
And what's really interesting, bringing that reader voice in, is how the specific comments on Amazon line up so well with what we've been discussing. The recurring themes are striking.
Okay, like what? What keeps coming up?
Well, readability is a big one. At least 10 customers specifically mentioned it positively, calling it an excellent read, very good, worth reading. One even said, fantastic book, everybody should read.
So that confirms the accessibility, the clarity, no complex jargon getting in the way.
Exactly. It validates that intentional directness. Then there's the inspirational content. 9 customers highlighted that.
The feeling it gives you.
Right. Inspiring and helpful, making readers feel much more optimistic about everything. It shows the book provides that immediate psychological lift, not just information. It fosters hope and agency.
And did they mention the affirmation specifically?
Yes. One comment specifically mentioned, the powerful affirmation every day and every way I'm getting better and better is a cure-all remedy, a placebo, recognizing its self-activating power. And 4 customers specifically praised the autosuggestions themselves, how they're easy to understand, how they demonstrate autosuggestion is a proven subject, and how it's easy to practice. One just said, gives you autosuggestions to do. Brilliant.
So the practical how-to aspect is really appreciated.
Hugely. And the impact. People use phrases like absolutely life-changing, so simple, so powerful. Another called it a gift to mankind. You see comments like, amazing what beliefs can do. Our bodies are amazing.
Those are strong endorsements. Real enthusiasm there.
Definitely. And that theme of simplicity keeps echoing. So simple, so powerful. There should be more books explaining exactly this. A simple method, so simple to do. And the need for faith comes up too. It's all in ourselves, the power to heal, but one must do it with faith.
It all ties together, the simplicity, the power, the need for inner conviction.
It paints a very consistent picture of why the book resonates so strongly.
Which brings us back to that one quite basic criticism again. Seeing it now, alongside all this positive feedback, emphasizing simplicity as a good thing.
It really reframes it, doesn't it? That criticism almost highlights why the book works so well for its target audience. They want the basics, the directness, the actionable steps.
Not the academic complexity.
Yeah.
So the overwhelming customer voice validates the book's core purpose and strength. The basic nature isn't a flaw for them. It's the key feature.
Exactly. It delivers precisely what it promises, and that's why it's seen as so impactful and life-changing by so many.
Okay, so wrapping this up, connecting all the dots. What's the big picture takeaway?
Well, if we pull back, simple self-healing really offers this incredibly powerful yet super accessible tool. It's for anyone who wants to tap into their mind's potential for well-being, for improving their life.
Harnessing that inner capacity.
Exactly. The core message is consistent. Conscious autosuggestion, the way Coué taught it, has this remarkable power to create profound change. And it does it through a practice that's simple, repeatable.
And maybe more relevant than ever now.
I think so. In this age of information overload where everything feels so complex, a guide that's concise, actionable, and effective, that's incredibly valuable. It cuts through the noise, gives you a direct path to self-empowerment.
Okay, let's unpack this one final time then, a thought to leave everyone with.
Go for it.
Given the truly amazing results people report, resolving serious pain like sciatica, improving eyesight, and remembering Coué helped thousands back in his day, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
What other simple, maybe overlooked truths about our own potential are just sitting there, waiting? Not in some high-tech lab, but maybe in the wisdom of how our own minds work.
Could the answers to big problems be hidden in simple practices?
Exactly. Could the solutions to complex physical, mental challenges really lie in these straightforward, consistent things we can do ourselves? Things inherent within us all along. It definitely gives you something, pretty profound to mull over.
A powerful question indeed.
We really hope you have enjoyed today's deep dive on the Deep Seek Diaries. It's been fascinating exploring this.
Absolutely. A rediscovery worth making.
Please don't forget to check out all the linked resources down in the description section. You'll find links to simple self-healing and other related materials there.
Everything you need to explore further.
And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the like button as you head off. It makes a difference.
Yep. Lets us know you're with us.
Until our next deep dive, goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.